All right. All right. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Hey, we about to start this class, the ISUPK Brotherhood and Sisterhood class. We about to do this thing. Y'all make sure y'all get y'all precept books, get everything you need to write down these scriptures, get your questions in order, grab you a drink, do something. I don't care what you do, but just make sure you come back. All right? Peace. All right, man. What's going on, man? What's going on, brothers and sisters? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What's going down? Hope everybody had a good weekend. Now we back. Shout out to everybody who's on this joint early. You know what I'm saying? 16 people right away. That's all right right there. You know what I'm saying? Kazakawa, ISUPK, Delaware South, Dionysia Jones, always in the building. Shout out to you. Fort Worth, Texas. That's right. Most high great. Okay, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to have a good class. All right, Just Starting Paint. What's going on, Just Starting Paint? Shapril Lowry. Yeah, that's right. Checking in from Baltimore, man. Be more. All right. Shout out to all y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get the class started. But the class is called There Went Out Wicked Men Who Hated Their Own People. Right? And I wanted to talk about this because this absolutely pertains to brotherhood and sisterhood, right? Because there are people out there of our people that hate black people. And a lot of those people are, the Christians, right? The Christians hate poor black people, right? Let's just be straight up honest with it, right? They hate poor black people. And we go out and we support our people, no matter if we stand on the front line for the poor people. We're the voice of the people who don't have a voice, right? We're the last line of defense for the hood to say that you ain't going to do this and you ain't going to do that. And we're going to stand up and be the ones that's going to speak out against anything that harms our people. And we're not going to be swayed by money or anything like that. All right. Now, this week, and you could chime in too, Zarab Bakar, you was at camp, right? All right, so you was at camp. Oh yeah, you had a good speaking too. You was at camp or whatever, right? And you saw when the Christian lady came up,
right?
And the Christian lady basically was like, "What are y'all doing for the neighborhood? What are y'all doing for these kids that are out here? You know what I'm saying? What are y'all doing in Philly?" And I told her, I said, "Well, I can show you what we're doing in Philly right now," because they was going live on Facebook. So I said, I can show you Philly camp right now. I can show you them out right now in Philly. She's like, well, once she heard me say that, she was like, well, what about these kids shooting up this and shooting up that? What about them? And I said, well, who's to blame for that? And she said, well, they are. And I said, wow, that's interesting. And she said, she said, they are. And then she said, well, who do you think is to blame? And I said, you.
Right.
You're the blame for it. Because she was like, I was in the civil rights movement and we fought for this. I was down in Alabama, this and that. Well, you're the reason why they're selling drugs.
Right.
You know why? Because you know why young cats sell drugs? They sell drugs because we don't have black business.
Right.
What else do you got? That's our portion, right?
Right.
Is drugs. So because the civil rights movement gave away all of our businesses so that we can enjoy being in their businesses. Now we don't have none. And so what do we have left? Drugs.
Right.
Right. And it was her generation that taught us that color didn't matter. So now that we've learned from the generation from the 60s and the 70s, right? We've learned that color don't matter.
Right.
So since color does not matter, then it doesn't matter who I put a gun to. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What they should have been teaching us is that color does matter.
Right.
It absolutely matters. And you should not be out here robbing anybody for that matter, but you should definitely not rob somebody that's your people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like in the favelas, right? In Brazil, you know, in Brazil, they operate the favelas by the gangs. And the gangs, if you say that you can't rob nobody in the favela, right? Because color definitely matters. You know what I mean? Their people matter. And so if you rob somebody in the favela, then you're going to get mob justice. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to get, like they're going to say, oh, you robbed somebody's house? Oh, you robbed somebody. What hand did you rob them with? And shoot you in the hand.
Right.
They might chop it off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that they understand that it's important who you rob. You know what I mean? It's important not to rob your people. It's important not to harm your people.
Right.
Right? That's the main thing. And that's what we would, if we understood that, then we would have better brotherhood and sisterhood.
Right.
But the first scripture I wanted to start off with was Ecclesiasticus 40 and 28. All right. Let me get there with you real quick. Ecclesiasticus 40 and 28. This is pretty good one. This one kind of jumped out at me on my way here. Well, not here, but on my way getting ready to come here. I just wanted to visit this this scripture right here. Ecclesiasticus 40 and I think it was 28.
Sir. I got it.
Was that it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 40, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
My son, lead not a beggar's life.
And could you say it one more time, please?
Honorable Khan. My son, lead not a beggar's life.
That's what we live in America. Because of our lack of brotherhood and sisterhood, we live a beggar's life. And we beg for better education because we, you know, don't have the capacity and brotherhood enough to teach ourselves, right? We beg for better education. We beg for better politicians, you know, who not going to change the policies. We just vote on who's going to be the better one that could, you know, package it up and give it to us nicely, right? But we live a beggar's life. And that's what the civil rights movement did. They led a beggar's life. Right? Keep reading.
Honorable Khan.
Mm-hmm.
For better it is to die than to beg.
That's right, man. He said better it is to die than to beg. Like what? To lead a beggar's life is basically like, you know, you just looking for a handout. You begging for something, and nobody loves a beggar. We all know that. You know, I know when you get to that light, you don't like nobody coming up to your car like, man, let me get this. You know, especially the ones that's up at 6 o'clock in the morning while you're on your way to your slavery that you don't want to go to, and they're at the light begging you for money, you know, and change or whatever. You won't be trying to hear that in the morning. I don't give a damn. You ain't trying to hear it. Why? Because nobody respects a beggar. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You know, people will respect you more if you at least, you know, at this point, you know, I remember when it used to be where you pull up to the light and they would pull out the Windex and start hitting up the windshield with the squeegee, just start hitting that joint up. And you like, well, damn, you know what I mean? At least you did something. But now they just beg. They don't even do nothing. It's just like, you don't offer me anything now.
Right.
They just, you know, be at the light and just give me money. Right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just keep on riding because, you know, nobody's going for that these days.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, you know, so it said lead not a beggar's life, man. Keep going.
Honorable Khan. Verse 29. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life.
You see that? We're not even, like, what we do is not even counted as living, you know, because we depend on what another man has. And we depend on what the oppressor has. You know what I mean? Because we covet what he has. And we think that we need everything that he has on his table. You know, covetousness is like where you strongly desire what another person has, right? Worldly things that a person had, we strongly desire that instead of the Lord.
Right.
And because we don't desire the Lord, that's one of the most evil things the Lord hates, right? Matter of fact, let me get a scripture on that. What's that? It is, hold on, let's log in. It was, let me see. It's I think it's in Ecclesiasticus 10 and 9, I believe. Let me see that. Was any more on that one though?
Kind of what kind?
Go ahead.
1 second. Let me get back to it.
No sweat. 10 and let me see. Let me just look at it real quick. Okay, yeah, that's the one I want. But go ahead.
Kind of what kind? It says, "For he polluted himself with another man's meat.
Mm-hmm.
But a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof."
Right. And that's the brothers who understand these scriptures, the sisters that understand these scriptures. You know, because so many people will sell themselves out just so they can be to get what somebody else have or get with, you know, and depend on other people. And this is not the way you want to be. You know what I mean? Now, you want to depend on your brothers, but not in a way where, you know, not in a way where, you know, it's like on some worldly type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I depend on my brothers, you know what I'm saying, to be there for me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to just always just lean on the brotherhood and not give anything to it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is about, you know, this is about like begging for what someone else has and not having the mental fortitude to go out and do it for yourself. And even if you can't do it for yourself, then just to go without. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the civil rights movement got wrong, is that they wanted to beg the oppressor for things instead of just saying, you know what, we'll just go without. We don't need the best books to teach from. You know what I'm saying? We don't need the best schools. We could stay in this classroom that's broken down, you know what I'm saying, with you know 10 to 15 or just not even 10 or 15, but just the old books that, you know, that were worn down. We could still learn out of those things because guess what? 2 + 2 is 4, right? Mm-hmm. Is 2 + 2 4 in Philly?
Kind of what kind?
Is it 2 + 2? Is 2 + 2 4 in San Antonio, Texas?
Kind of what kind?
You know what I mean? Is it the same? What's the upper class neighborhood in Philly? Like Strawberry Mansion?
No, like Mount Airy.
Mount Airy. It's still 2 + 2, right?
Right.
It's still 4. So it don't matter where you at.
Right.
It's still the same. We just thought that 2 + 2 was different in the oppressor schools.
Right.
And because we thought that, this is why we depended on another man, because we begged so much. Now we full well capable, we're able to do it ourselves, right. But because we got so used to begging.
Right.
And this is why the life that we live here in America is not counted for a life at all.
Right.
All right. Okay. All right, you got it. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 9. Give everybody a chance to get there. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 9. Let's see if I can kind of scribe a little bit for it.
I got it whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, you got it.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Why is earth and ashes proud?
Right. Earth and ashes is us. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are. Right? Why are we so damn proud? Keep going.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Right. And that's the Bible says that, right? There's not a more wicked thing than that. To you know, and to covetousness. Let me pull up a what's the name for y'all. So I can give y'all the good definition of it, right? Covetousness. I had already looked it up earlier, but okay. Okay, it says, what is covetousness according to the Bible? Covetousness is an insatiable desire for worldly gain. Covetousness is an insatiable desire to find fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in things instead of in the Most High. The spirit of covetousness leads to and is the mother of many other sins. Coveting another man's wife leads to adultery. Right? So to help y'all out, right? All right, keep going. Or it says, or this, the Webster's is having or showing too much desire for wealth or possessions or for something belonging to another person. And we see everything that the oppressor has and we want it. We want it bad. We want it so bad that we can't even afford it.
Okay.
Go ahead. You want to say something?
I got the definition.
Go ahead. You got it.
As well. Mm-hmm. This is the on page 118 of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Mm-hmm. Covetousness. It says has various shades of meaning. The first one is the desire to have something. The second definition is the inordinate desire to have something. And the third definition is excessive desire of what belongs to another.
Right, exactly. Like when you see, like, I remember I was watching The Baby, right? He was at an award show. And so, you know how like when they catch like the celebrities walking into the award show, mm-hmm. and they're like, hey, what's up? Can you give a few words to this, to this whatever, channel that the people are that stand on the red carpet. They're like, hey, The Baby, can you give us a quick few words? Can you drop a few words? And they said, so what's going on? What are you planning on doing in this award show? And he said, I'm trying to leave here with another nigga, bitch. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm thinking like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're looking forward to, and like he went to a cop. It was a cop that was standing there, that was doing security on the red carpet, and he walked over to the cop and he leaned in and whispered to the cop. He was like, tonight I'm leaving here with another N-words B.
Right.
And I'm like, why would you tell the cop that? The cop was like looking at him like, what? You know what I mean? And that's what he said. He said, I'm gonna leave here tonight with another nigga B. And because he had nice clothes on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that just shows you like how, our people, we have a desire for what another man has. And that thing that another man has is his woman. You know what I'm saying? It could be his woman, and that leads to adultery. It could be, his cars and his money and different things like that. And that leads to robbery, his jewelry, all of those things. We should be in a place where now in 2022, where, we should know better. Like just like the cats who robbed the cat who robbed P&B Rock and killed P&B Rock, right? Now, it was so stupid because the jewelry that he stole from P&B Rock, you can't sell it nowhere because it's stolen jewelry, and jewelry when the way that the diamonds are cut, the way that the diamonds are cut, other diamond jewelers know because every single jewelry jeweler, they cut their diamonds in a certain way that other jewelers will know the minute they look at it underneath of the scope. So the cat who robbed P&B Rock, he's stupid. He's a dummy because where are you going to sell his jewelry at?
Right.
You can't go to a pawn shop, right? You can't go on the streets and get it because if you try to go on the streets, it's going up on Instagram. It's going up on Instagram. The police are going to find you because I don't know about y'all, but it's some detectives out here, and I'm not talking about the people that work for the department. I'm talking about just average YouTubers are excellent, what's that word I'm looking for? Detectives. Right. They'll put the whole story together. Like King Von had beef with 600 Breezy, and they said this on a track, and he said that on the track, and then this dude got into it, and then Lil Durk said this on his album, on his mixtape. On his mixtape, he said this, and then FBG Duck said this. And it's like, damn, all the police got to do now is just go on to watch any video,
right? Kind of a con,
and he'll be able to know. Go ahead.
And if I may, the point that you just made about the baby and everything, we're taught that, at a very early age, is that's kind of what makes you a man. Not that the girl that is leaving with him is a whore, but the fact that I can shit on you, by crossing my brother to get his woman, that makes me the man. Not that she's the whore.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she's unstable and that she would do the same thing to me with the next brother that comes with more than what I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And look down upon that situation, but that's how they get us to war over a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Many of brothers die like that.
Yeah. And, so many brothers, they absolutely they died for stuff like that because she just got this crazy baby dad. She didn't tell she didn't tell you about.
Mm-hmm.
She just all she gonna do is tell you, well, we ain't been talking. I don't mess with him like that no more. But this nigga is, banging on the damn door in the middle of the night.
Right.
Trying to see his kids at 3.
Right.
3:30 in the morning. They're like, I want to see my kids. Who you got in there, huh? Who you got? And look, then when she know that the cat is, the dude is crazy, her baby dad is crazy, and he knocking on the door, instead of just being quiet and letting him go away, she like, well, I'm gonna go answer it.
Right.
Like, why you gotta go answer the door?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why you would have been? Well, I'm gonna get rid of him. Yeah, all right. Next thing you know, that nigga can smell that it's a nigga in that house.
Right.
And then you be into some mess because, you trying to cover another man's wife.
Right.
So it's real crazy out there now. You know what I'm saying? You got to definitely use your wit, when it comes to all of this kind of stuff. But that cat, P&B Rock, the person who robbed him, coveting his stuff, his jewelry, is stupid because the minute you try to sell it, matter of fact, you can't sell it to nobody. You can't put it on Instagram because basically that jewelry has a body.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like a gun. Nobody want a gun with a body on it. First thing when somebody sell a gun to you, you're gonna say, it got any bodies on it? And if they do, they're like, well, this is cheap. This is gonna be a gun, cheap. I'll take it off your hand. But if it ain't got no bodies on it, it's the value is a little bit is higher. You know what I mean? Because it's clean.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing with jewelry. I mean, if you happen to maybe take it in a fight or rob, break in somebody's house and steal it, it might be a little bit different. But if you steal it from somebody that you killed,
right,
nobody's gonna want that.
Right.
Who's gonna want to pop up with that? And that's what coveting your brother or your sister's stuff. That's what it leads to. It leads to you getting murdered by somebody, some stupid, ignorant young boy who don't have no damn sense to even think things through.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
Kind Khan.
Oh, you read it one more time from the top, please.
All right, Kind Khan. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud?
Yeah, we proud, man. We are proud people, man. We just love to be so damn proud. Right? Read on.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Mm-hmm.
For such an one setteth his own soul to sell.
Say that again.
Khan. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell.
Ain't that what we always talk about? Rappers selling their soul. People selling their soul for fame, and then when you sell your soul, right, then you realize that the price that you sold yourself for fame was worth more than the fame,
right?
It's worth more than the money, like when people think like selling your soul is not like you writing, on a contract, and how they make it probably seem like it's so scary, like the devil is probably, well, the devil's true, the oppressor dressed up in the suit, that's the devil the Bible speaks of, but they be like, yeah, you got to sign your name on a dotted line and you got to put it in blood and all this other kind of stuff. Look, man, selling your soul is compromising your integrity for money.
Right.
And whatever it takes to compromise your integrity, that's what you'll do. So now they say, oh, well, you're going to wear a dress today. When you show up to the show, it's already sat on the bed for you. It's already sat on the bed in your hotel room. This is what you're wearing tonight. You're wearing a miniskirt. And that's what it's going to be. You're going to be laughed at on social media. They're going to take everything from you. They're going to talk about everything that you've ever done, but this is what you're wearing tonight. You're going to wear these clothes that you would never wear otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to say what you want to say when you go on these interviews. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to say what we want you to say on these interviews. That's selling your soul. That's compromising your integrity. Now, should a brother feel like he can't have money? No. By all means, if you want money, you could be rich. It's perfectly fine. You can be rich. You can get money. You can get jewelry. You can get all those nice things, man. Nice cars. You can have all of that, as long as it doesn't compromise your integrity to get it. And if it's going to compromise your integrity, then it's not worth having, and you should just walk away, right? Read it one more time from the middle.
Kind of what kind, sir. For such a one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
Right, meaning like, man, you cast away everything your morals. You know what I mean? You cast away everything that you was raised on. You cast all of that away. Any like you know how like your bowels is like your stomach, right? And you cast away all of that because you done basically sold your damn self for something that that wasn't worth you giving up your integrity for.
Right.
Let me get First Maccabees 1 and 11.
All
right, we got Tamika Santa in the building. James Kearney checking in from Tom's River. All right, Tom's River. All right. A Facebook user. That's right. That's how you go incognito. All right. Whenever you got it. Powerball. What's going on, Powerball?
I got it whenever you
Hawkins,
ready,
Micah Hawkins. Baltimore, Maryland. Yapana. What's going on? Checking in from Houston, Texas. Just starting Pate as always. All right. Let's get it.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
That's right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wicked men in Israel. But, sometimes we think that it was all, it was all holy men and we was all good and all that. But it's been that in Israel. And we've had to always deal with that when we get our backs against the wall. You know what I'm saying? And even when we don't have our backs against the wall, it's always wicked men. It's always sellouts. It's always men like, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and, all those cats that, sell us out. It's always wicked men. Read on.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
That's what they always been. That's civil rights. That's an agreement. The covenant is an agreement that you have. And that's all they try to do is make a covenant with the heathen.
No.
Oh, okay. That's all they try to do is make a covenant with the heathen. Hold on, let me see. Let me get this one scripture right here. Hold on. And this is what we should know to keep us safe. You know what I'm saying? Like the real brotherhood. We're as a people, we're not going to know what it is because we think that brotherhood is getting along with everybody. That's not brotherhood. Like what did Christ say? Remember I brought this up. What did Christ say? Christ said that you can't serve two masters, right?
Right.
He said that you're going to love one and you're going to hate the other.
Right.
I'm going to say it again. Christ said that you cannot serve two masters. You're going to hate one and you're going to love the other one, right? So by proxy, black people cannot love the oppressor, because you're going to, by proxy, by default, you're going to hate black people, right? Now, ever since Christ said that, we've been trying to prove him wrong. Ever since you know what I mean? Even today, we're still trying to prove Christ wrong. Nah, see, it ain't like that. See, you can love more than, you can love two masters. And guess what happens when we do that? Right what we're reading about right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have a lack of brotherhood in our neighborhoods, right? Because civil rights basically made a covenant with the heathen, and you know, there's wicked men who's always try to sell us out. I mean, it's just at this point, we have no leadership. Like remember how the scripture said, man, the gates thereof languish. That's our leadership. Our leader for something to languish means that this thing has to be or become weak. And our leadership is weak. We don't have any leadership. We have zero leadership. You know who our leadership is? Our leadership is rap music. You know what I'm saying? Like we look at, like, you know, Glorilla is a black leader.
Right.
Glorilla. I know she just got us on. Ice Spice is a black leader. Cardi B is a black leader. And I know that sounds crazy, don't it? Give it a couple more songs. Ice Spice is going to be talking to the president. Like, hey, well, what do you think about, you know, the conditions of black people? Because that's black leadership.
Right.
It's entertainers, you know, people that can play instruments, football players. That's black leadership. Black leadership ain't the community activists. You know what black leadership is? Charleston White. Charleston White is black leadership. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, man, like this is real. This is real. Like that's black leadership. Everybody gives a damn about what Charleston White has to say. But the people that are actually out here in the trenches every weekend, that's really out here, really doing it, and been doing it for years and years and years and years and decades, they don't want to talk to them. But they want to talk to a troll. You get my point? Like that's where we at with it. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see they start putting Charleston White on CNN or Fox News. He's gonna surpass YouTube and podcast platforms, and they're actually gonna have him. I guarantee you, I'm saying it right now. They're going to have Charleston White on Fox News or CNN. It could be any one of them. CNN, Fox News. What's that dude name? Bill O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. All them cats. Yeah, watch. Mark my word. They're going to have them on there. Trina. Saucy. You know what I mean? All those cats. Those are black leaders. Right. That's what the black leadership is. Right there. The people on Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives. That's black leadership. And we operate on the lowest rung of European culture. That's where we at with it. We don't know what liberation even means or even would even feel like. We can't grasp that concept because we can't want to be liberated from a people that has the same values that we do. You know what I mean? Like we got the same values as them. So why would you want to get rid of them? How are you going to get liberated from the people that you share values with? Right. You know, you want to say something? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So like, if I may, what you're saying is heavy. And also they have seduced our women into thinking that they can be sexually liberated from their men.
Mm-hmm. I saw what you brought out the other day when you said Trina put out that no voting, no bucking.
Yeah.
I said bucking, right, with a V.
That's what I said too.
Yeah, with a V. But I remember we was playing some of the song, and like what you was bringing out was right. It's a song about saying that if the black man does not vote, the black woman should not give him any buns.
Right.
Right. And that's the narrative they want to put on us. Now, I remember before it was vax that thing up. Remember, it was like, girl, you looks good. Won't you vax that thing up? Remember, y'all remember that?
Right.
When the COVID was hitting, it's like, it's always, they try to control our sex. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the oppressor wants to control our sex lives. He wants to control, you know, our children's sex. You know what I mean? he wants to control every part of our being.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not counted for a life. You know what I'm saying? And it just further proves my point. Like I said, I wanted to add on to what General Hyman said when he said there's no such thing as a black community. And I want to add on to that and say that according to the oppressor, there's no such thing as black parents.
Right.
No such thing as black parents. Because whatever the oppressor tells you is going to happen, you do.
Right.
He say, hey, look, man, you know what? You can't tell your kids what sex they are. And we do it. Like, well, you know, you should talk to a female about the LGBT. And I guarantee you she will echo the same things that she's heard that the oppressor said. Or you want to say something? I'm sorry.
We can't whoop our kids.
Yeah. They told us that. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They told us, oh, you can't put your hands on your kids because they wasn't putting their hands on their kids.
Right.
Now, are there better ways? Yes. There are better ways in dealing with a child, right? So that they can change. But nobody's above an ass whipping.
Right.
Go ahead. Right. Kids like, what? I call the cops on you.
Yeah, back in the day, I dare you to threaten to call the cops.
Right. What do you threaten to call the cops? My mom beat me all the way up. I think the last beating I got was like 16.
Yep.
She was like, don't you try to not listen. I was just sitting there like, and that's when then she hit me on the back. Whack! I was like,
shit.
Yeah, she got me. But you know, my point was, you know what I'm saying, like, nobody's above an ass whipping at some point. Some things you need to get a foot torn off in your behind. You know what I mean? Depending on the severity of the offense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, some you know, but everything doesn't have to be that. But of course, you know, there's nobody above an ass whipping.
Right.
Right. All right. Big Main, what's going on, man? Sayana Nash, what's going down?
That's right.
Rye Rich. All right, what's going on? River Barzal, okay.
Yeah.
Service for your Howard side. All right.
That's right.
Okay, so the servants of Yahweh wants to know if they can get a breakdown on Isaiah 4:1. I'll just answer that real quick.
Kind of
if you could get it real quick.
Kind of what kind, sir?
A breakdown on 4:1. I already know where they're going with this one. Go ahead. Whenever you get it. I'm in Isaiah too.
Okay, you want to read it? I'm gonna stay off of this.
Isaiah 4:1, right?
Yeah, Isaiah 4:1.
Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
Right. And what's the reproach that they're going to take? That they're going to want to take away? The reproach that they're going to want to take away is not being married and not having a husband. This right here is not a future prophecy. This is going on now. You know what I mean? This is actually happening right now. And what women are going to see is that the pickings are going to get slim. I'm telling you, y'all see where we at now in 2022. Think of how it's going to be in 2027 if we don't change. Start going up, because the way we're going is we're going down, 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 down. And it's going to be a time where, you know, women are not going to have, you know, the pick of the litter anymore, because, you know, half the men are going to be, you know, in the LGBT, you know what I'm saying? The other 1/3 of them are already going to be locked up in prison. You know what I mean? Then you're going to have brothers that are on the down low. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna have much to choose from. So yeah, this is happening now, and it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like the scriptures say that it's gonna be a day. Now, is the 7 women taking hold of one man? That's not literal. 7 women are gonna be with every single man, but it just means that women are gonna want to be called by the house of you, right? The house of Kwayaswan. the house of Tzion. There's going to be sisters out there that's going to say, because remember, when this falls, America is the way that it is because it's a first world country. And because it's a first world country, it means that we have first world problems, right? First world problems are problems that the rest of the world doesn't give a damn about because it means nothing. Like, think about what your problem is. Your problem is what you're going to eat. Like, damn, should I go to McDonald's, Burger King? Should I go to Buffalo Wild Wings? And there's people in other countries that's like, am I going to eat this week? You know what I mean?
Right.
What are we going to eat this week? I don't have enough money for my wife to live. Like, we don't have no more food. Like, there's nothing less but cornmeal. And the problem is who is going to eat and who's going to survive, right? Those are problems that the rest of the world is going through. You know, our problems is like, well, am I going to go to the car wash today or I'm just going to wash my car by hand? You know what I'm saying? And the water, and it's clean water. It's clean water that you're using to wash your car with. You know what I mean? We use clean water to water the grass. When there's people around the world that can't even get food. Can't even get water because it's contaminated. Right. They have to walk a mile to get water. And then they take the water, you know, like in them African countries, they get the water and they spit it out their mouth to wash the dishes with. You ever seen that? Where they drink the water and then they wash the dishes with the water they spitting out their mouth. Like a long stream is coming out of their mouth and they're washing the dishes. You know, washing the dishes. That's how they wash the dishes because it ain't no faucets. You know what I mean? It ain't no, you know, water treatment plants nowhere. It's just straight up, this is the water and I'm going to drink it and I'm going to wash the dishes with this water. You know, those are the problems that other people around the earth have. You know what I'm saying? And when we start to get to that point, which we are getting to that point, and we've been getting to that point, there's going to be women that's going to see qualities in a man, right? And they're going to want to be a part of that house. And they're going to want to take away that reproach, right? Of not having a man. You know what I'm saying? Because those same things, those same qualities that your ribs see in you, other women are going to see in you too. And they're going to want to be called by your house. You know what I'm saying? To take away their reproach of not having a man. You know, all of that stuff goes out the window. These relationships, these same-sex relationships, women and women, that goes out the window when you don't have this, when you don't have it good, when you don't have, you know, this is all fine and good when you don't have, you know, invading forces riding up and down the street with tanks. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have missiles going off. But when you have missiles going off and you have things like that in place, you ain't got no McDonald's or no Starbucks or none of that. Women are going to want a brother that can fish. You know what I mean? Right. That brother that they ain't gonna give a damn about the jewelry. They could care less about 10 chains around your neck. You know, when it's time to eat. You know what I'm saying? A sister's going to want a brother, and she's going to be a part of that house, and she's going to say, you know what? Just let me be called after your name. And this is what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? There's sisters that are part of brothers' houses, man. You know what I'm saying? Brothers have multiple wives. You know what I mean? Ain't none. This ain't, and there's brothers that have multiple wives that ain't even in the truth. Right. You know what I mean? There's brothers out there that got 6, 7 women. You know what I mean? They just lying to every last one of them and telling them all that they single. You know what I mean? The girl come over. You sure you single? Yeah, I'm single. I ain't got nobody. You sure don't nobody be on this bed? Yeah, I'm sure. Lying through their teeth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is not just a future prophecy, but this is actually happening now. All right. So let's get back into it. All right. So, First Maccabees 1:11.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
See that? Ever since we separated from the oppressor, we've had sorrow. But the reality of it is that we've always had sorrow. It didn't mean when we separated from them, you know. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, we were better off by ourselves because at least we knew who the enemy was, and we knew, you know, we knew who to kill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We knew we wasn't gonna kill each other because because we had. That's why would you kill your own soldiers?
Right.
That's the most dumbest thing we're doing in the ghetto, man. We're killing each other. That's like so dumb. We killing our own soldiers off, and the oppressor just sit back and laugh at it. Like, you dumb, stupid Negroes, man. You know what I'm saying? That brother who's on the corner with his pants hanging down, with all the tattoos on his face, that brother is not even prepared. That brother that's standing out there, that brother's kind. He's kind, and that brother doesn't even understand that he's a target. You know what I mean? Because he's busy looking out for other brothers, right? But he doesn't even have enough sense to pull his damn pants up. Why? Because he just might have to run. You know how many brothers get caught like that? They get caught and killed because they're trying to run and their pants falls down around their damn ankles and they can't even run. Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, another thing is our people get high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we be on Clubhouse talking to different people, and they think they could be a revolutionary and get high.
Mm-hmm.
It don't go hand in hand. It's the same thing. Our brothers in the streets. If you know you out here doing work, like you doing dirty stuff out there, and you're getting high, and a lot of us get caught up like that.
Right.
We're sitting in our car lacking, smoking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we sitting around high on a corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you just went on your ops block and shot it up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think they coming back? But
right.
you want to be laughing, giggling, getting high.
Right.
You know, and that the drugs is killing us as well. Like it's
right. No, you absolutely right with that. You know what I'm saying? The drugs is killing us and we killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we and it's because of what we were taught. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it comes from the civil rights movement.
Right.
The civil rights movement taught us that color don't matter. It taught us that, you know, life is about us just all coming together, you know, and teaching us to have compassion for everybody else. But they didn't understand what Christ said when he said that you can't serve two masters.
Right.
Because if you love the oppressor, you love the other nations that are around us, you're going to hate black people. Because when you love the oppressor, you're going to love what he loves, right? And hate what he hates. You had want to say something? Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, and a lot of that comes from Christianity. Mm-hmm. Christianity teaches us that it's an adversary roaming through the earth, like Satan. You know, not teaching you who Satan is and making it practical, but just making it only a spiritual thing. Right. And it's not about color. It's about the devil. It's a war between the devil and God.
Right.
You know, that's how they get our people. Mm-hmm. So you're either going to be on the side of God or you're not. So what does it appear to be? It appears to be who's doing most of the sinning. You look around in your hood. That's how they get us to hate our own people. You look around the hood and you look at, we killing one another. But what's on the news and everything isn't what white people doing to each other. It's not what it's not what the oppressors doing to each other. It's what it's showing what we doing to each other. It's showing that we committing adultery. It's showing that we robbing, we stealing, we killing, we doing those things. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they use our religion to get us to hate each other. Right. And and you're right. And if I could just add something on to it, because what you're saying is heavy. It's like when we said they make it look like we're the ones saying it. It's like propaganda. Kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't even realize that that's even being played on us. Propaganda. Right. Because remember when Jewish people were sent to concentration camps, right? Before they were exterminated by the Germans. Right. Propaganda went out first about them. So when it came time for the Germans to do what they did and Hitler did, you know what I'm saying? People didn't care. Right. So when the other nations around us, they look at not Black Lives Matter. They look at Snowfall. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it up to date. Right. They look at Snowfall. They look at Menace to Society. They look at,
OG Bobby Johnson. They look at what's that, South Central.
Power.
They look at New Jack City. What else?
Power.
They look at Power, right? They look at these things and they say, man, these Negroes are savages. Look at how they do their own people, as if they don't have a channel dedicated to white on white crime.
Right.
It's called the ID channel. You know what I'm saying? All day you can watch it. You can watch show after show after show after show after show of them committing crimes on their people. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with black people killing black people. It's the same thing with Chinese people killing Chinese people. You know, they got the triads, right? The Chinese gangs that go and kill other gang members, the dragons, red dragons or whatever. They have the same thing, and every nation has crime that they commit against each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? The problem with us is that we have to be able to be put in a position where we can stomp that out. When we can stomp that out, then we truly will have the key to, you know, have that liberation that we want to get. But until then, I mean, you know, because it has to come a time when we're gonna have to deal with drug dealers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be drug dealers that's not gonna want to stop selling drugs, but they're gonna have to stop for our people to move forward.
Right.
And in order for that to happen, it's going to have to be some sort of civil war between black people.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's going to be a type of civil war that's not going to be about the Bloods and Crips. It's going to be about people that are trying to move forward and people that are trying to hold us back.
Right.
And the people that are actually the people that are out there in the streets or whatever, they probably don't know the difference between either one of them. You know what I mean? They don't know with nothing. You know, all they know is niggas have done stuff to me my whole life, and you know, I'm gonna sell this drugs because if they're not gonna get it from me, they're gonna get it from somebody else.
Right.
You know, so in their mind, they think that it's just that's the way it is. You know what I mean? Because they've never been done dirty by the oppressor per se.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they can't see that high up as we can see.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're never really gonna. Those types of brothers, or the brothers that, you know, where you be at, you know what I'm saying, like Clubhouse.
Right.
You know, those are the brothers that you talk to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because there's gangsters all in here in the ISUPK.
Right.
Brothers who put that down and decided to serve the Lord. You know, we come from all walks of life, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, I know some brothers that's from North Philly that never been to West Philly. You know, we only know a certain block or radius of things. You know what I mean? They never been out of the state. They never been out of the city of Philly. You know, they just been stuck on the block, and that's all they know. Man,
look, I used to be a robber. I used to be a jacker.
Right.
You know, imagine me coming through the window.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 6 feet coming through the window with a give it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, I used to be out there, and if the truth could change somebody, you know what I'm saying, who was, you know, jumping in those windows, you know what I'm saying, then, you know what I mean, it could change anybody.
Right.
Doesn't matter. We got gangbangers that's in here, brothers who was in gangs. You know what I mean? We got sisters that was in gangs in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got all types of walks of life of people. And if it could work for us, then it can definitely work for our brothers and sisters that are out there in the world. You just got to figure out what type of bait you're going to use to hook them.
Right.
Right. So it might just be, you might have to level with a brother. You know what I mean? Just level with him on his level. You know, remember I was talking about earlier how when Paul went to the Corinthians, he talked to them how they knew how to, you know what I mean, about sports. You know what I'm saying? He was like, look, we run a race. We all run the race so that we might obtain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was talking about getting what the Lord promised us.
Right.
But he put it in a way talking about running a race.
Right.
So that, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you could talk to a brother and you don't necessarily have to beat the brother down with the scriptures all the time.
Right. Kind of a kind.
Sometimes you could just be real with a brother, you know what I'm saying? And let him know, like, look, this is what it's really about.
Right.
And sometimes a brother will listen. You know, sometimes you might have to go into those spaces, you know what I'm saying, where brothers might be smoking. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes because that's what it requires sometimes for you to get your brothers out of hell. Sometimes you might have to go in it. Sometimes you might have to go in hell. You know what I'm saying? And we go in hell all the time. We go up in these, you know, down these blocks and pass out these flyers, man. I'm like, what? I remember we went down this one block and Tata Pa looked at me like, you sure you want to walk down this block? You know what I'm saying? And we walked down the block. I'm like, I didn't want to walk down the block.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was like mad dudes out, you know, clearly selling drugs. We don't know these cats. They from East Side. We don't even know, them.
Right.
But you know how the truth is, it makes you go against, you know what I'm saying? Like,
your fear.
Yeah, what you fear. I mean, what you fear, it makes you go against your better judgment sometimes.
Right.
And we went down that block. And guess what? Those brothers was like, oh man, you know, thanks, man. You know what I mean? Man, that's what's up, man. You know, like they respected us for not being afraid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the church is afraid of those brothers.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? The church is like, wow, I'm not messing with those cats down there. You know what I'm saying? That's why they hide in that church all day. Every Sunday. They never come out in the streets like we do because they're afraid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those brothers, man, we got to get them out of hell too. Those sisters that's out there, we got to get them out of hell too. Now, pushing the truth. Does that mean be stupid? No. Right. Sometimes you in certain spaces, you just need to hold your peace.
Right.
You know, brothers out here drunk, you know, you at the club, you don't need to be trying to convert nobody in the club.
In the club, right.
Yeah, you don't need to be trying to convert no sisters in the club. Sister, y'all need to stop using the word nigga. You know what I mean? You don't need to be like that in the club.
Right.
Yeah, you know, you over here by the bathroom, nigga be like, yo, nigga, what's up? You like, y'all need to stop using the word nigga. See, the word nigga, you know what I mean? Nah, you tripping. Right. You know what I mean? Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting everybody in a goddamn fight in the club.
Right.
Right. So sometimes it's good to just hold your peace. You know, you can bring a brother in the truth by just keeping it funky with him. You know what I'm saying? You can do that too. You know what I mean? That's why I always say, like, you know, sometimes a person might not come in the truth by scriptures. They might come into the truth from the barbecue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With that music on, you know what I mean? And just seeing brothers chilling and having a good time, playing dominoes, playing cards, having a drink, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're coming to truth like that because they seen the fun stuff first. And they say, you know what? These brothers is dope. Let me go check it out. So, you know, you just always got to use your seasoning to understand what type of brothers you're dealing with, what type of sisters you're dealing with, and then, you know, you go from there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And right, they do teach, Sayana said they teach that God is love. Right, they do. And that's what the sister said that came up that tried to convince us, you know, with what the Lord said when he said that she said, well, God loves everybody, and that's not true.
Right.
You know? You know, the Christian church, old folks got to get out the way. You know, old folks have to get out the way, and they have to let new ideas come through. Go ahead.
If I may, like, they don't really read. They only read a few scriptures out the Old Testament. I believe they read Psalms 23. What's that famous one that the Lord knows what I want. He's my shepherd. I should not.
Yeah.
You know that one. And they read. They definitely read Malachi 3 and 8.
Yeah.
They read tithing.
Right.
But far as everything, like with the other brother, was it Taziai or was it Isaiah Warwood that said you might as well just have the Christian Bible.
Yeah, he said Christians just might as well just read the slave Bible.
Read the slave Bible, but that's what they go off of.
Hey, it got 3 books in it.
Right.
It's Acts to Galatians. That's it.
Kind of because they stay away from Revelations because Revelations is too scary for them.
Right.
Because they learn from their oppressor. And of course, and I know when I went to Catholic school. So in Catholic school, they always taught it that Revelations is scary. Now coming into the truth, I understand why they say it's scary.
They be like the devil with the dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and all that.
Right.
It's just kind of
they always taught that Revelations is a scary book. And it's because it's the end of their kingdom. You know, and I didn't always know that as back then, but coming into the truth, you know, you understand why. Because of the atrocities that they committed against our people and everything like that. But when we learn the Bible from them, we learn it from really the secondhand nature. Right.
We learn it through the eyes of the oppressor.
Kind.
Right. And that, you know, the one thing I hate is when I see sisters that are Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
Oh my God. Sisters, man. I don't know why a sister would even want to be in that.
Right.
But, you know, I guess they come so cunning, and they come so cunning to make it look like it's all love.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the earth doesn't reflect God being all love.
Right.
If God was all love, the earth will reflect it, but it don't. You know what I mean? Because what I see kids getting shot at. I put it on Facebook. I don't know if y'all seen it. When I put it on Facebook about the drive-by that happened in front of my crib,
right.
the Spanish boy next door, he got shot. He was like 17. His brother got shot that was like 14, and a kid that was 8 got shot. They moved out in 3 days.
Dang.
They was gone. The whole house packed up. They was gone. I caught it on camera too.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't catch I caught when the car came past the crib, past my camera, then I just heard pop, 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 and then just crying.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it was in the paper too. But it's online too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's, you know, they was out in three damn days. You know what I'm saying? It was a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never seen nobody move out the house that fast.
Right.
They was gone. Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, back when I was a Christian, and one day I was in church, you know, they had this quote unquote powerful prayer session. Everybody talking in tongues, screaming and yelling all around the church.
Mm-hmm.
The sister literally called my grandfather probably like 2 hours after the service.
Mm-hmm.
And her son, she came home and her son was dead on her porch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, so like you did all that thinking that the Lord is saving you and your family and everything else, but we out here dealing with the curses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with was actually real. She felt that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then the religion is so wicked that it manipulates you into thinking like, oh, well, me praying for him in that manner, let me know that he went to heaven.
Right. Everybody goes to heaven in Christianity.
You get what I'm saying?
Young Dolph is in heaven right now.
Absolutely.
Damn. It's like, damn, well, nobody go to hell. Somebody should have said, you know what? Damn, I know they went to hell. You know, what's his name? What's that cat? The JD, the youngin or something like that, who got killed? Something the youngin. It was a young cat. He was a young rapper that got killed in Louisiana.
Right.
It's like everybody's in heaven, man. You know what I mean? But these cats be on. They said King Von is in heaven.
Right.
But damn, he was on demon time.
Right. So exactly.
So it's like, you know, Christianity is everybody goes to heaven, nobody goes to hell. At least they would have said that, like, well, King Von is in hell today. You know what I mean? He's definitely in hell. But they be like, well, he's in heaven looking down on us.
Right.
It's his heavenly birthday. Come on, man.
Right.
Let me get Ecclesiasticus 9, verse 13 in the Apocrypha. I'm gonna just drop a couple more scriptures, all right? Mm-hmm. Ecclesiasticus 9, verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 13. Keep thee far from the man that have what? Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 13. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill.
Say that again.
Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill.
That's what we got to do. If the civil rights movement understood that, then we would be in a better position.
Right.
You're supposed to keep. The Bible says to stay away from a man that has the power to kill you. You know what I mean? And this can be for our people too. You know what I mean? This goes for our people too. Yeah. This goes for our people too. Hold on, is that me? Hold on. Salakia. Hold on. All right. Yeah, try to sneak up the water. Let me back up a little bit. All right. Salakia, y'all. Glad I caught that. All right. All right. So it says, say it one more time, please. Read it one more time for the top, please.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death.
Right. Stay away from that. Stay away from that person, so you don't have to doubt, or so that you don't have to fear death. You know what I mean? They tried to join us with the oppressor, someone who had power to kill us, and because of that, matter of fact, just go ahead and keep reading. I'll break it down after that.
And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently.
See that? Now this can go for that crazy brother that's in the hood too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, don't be around that brother. That brother didn't already, he didn't got 4 bodies. So you might not want to be around that brother because that brother could take your life, you know what I'm saying, for something. You know, it could be anything. You know, it could be something stupid. Like you say something and the brother might be agitated by what you're saying. And the brother could smoke you right then and there and not give a damn about the fact that you got a kid or nothing. You know what I mean? A lot of these cats that are in the hood now are serial killers. They just haven't been caught yet. You know what I mean? And they will body you if you cross them the wrong way. So you got to be careful and stay away from those types of people. But ultimately, the oppressor, we have to stay away from him, because once we stay away from him, then we won't have the killing like we have, you know what I mean, in the black neighborhood, because then we would have brothers who would love each other, because ultimately, once you get your culture back, in 6 months, we won't have the same problems that we have now. 6 months. If everybody understood the truth, we won't have those same problems anymore. And if we did have those same problems, you kill somebody, then you would die. And imagine that. Imagine that if you kill somebody, getting immediate justice from the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, that's different. That's, you know what I mean? So Robert Carr, like, we ain't experienced that. Right. Now I'm gonna tell you who do experience that, like sometimes, like a child molester. Right. You know what I mean? Somebody who rape a kid or something. And you know, it's a different thing when, you know, you looking out for your ops, right? Right. But it's another thing when you got aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandfathers, kids, cousins, everybody out there trying to kill you. You know what I mean? That's different. They like, whoa. They like, bring them out here. You know what I mean? And then you come outside and you got some auntie busting you over the head with a 2x4. You know what I mean? The grandma busting you over the top of your head, hitting you in the leg in the same spot. Right. You know, that's a totally different thing when you got the neighborhood mad. Now imagine that, how we used to be in Israel when, you know, the camp stone you. Right. You know what I mean? The camp burn you at the stake. The camp find out, oh, you killed somebody? Okay, yeah, all right. We get him ready for later. Yo, y'all ever see Snowfall? Right. You ever see Snowfall? Remember when he went down to, I forgot where it was, Honduras or something, and they had two people that was in these like cages, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna burn them. We're gonna burn them later. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, one dude killed another man so he can get with his wife. And so we're going to burn them later. And that's how it was. Whoever it was, whatever transgression they did, they was in that joint. And in the scene, it showed them putting wood underneath of the, you know, imagine that. Somebody got you in a cage and then you just see people just stacking wood underneath of you. Like, yeah, well, you know, just stacking it underneath of you, because later you about to be lit up because of what you did. Now, when we get to that point, Israel will be something different. You know what I mean? Then we'll be on the road to getting things fixed. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be some drug dealers is going to have they head on the stake. Right. You know what I mean? Just so that we know. Now, who knows what'll happen? You know what I mean? I mean, all I'm thinking about is, you know, if Christ ain't back in what? The next 20 years, what's this? What's this, 2022? 2032? Imagine that. 2032. It's going to be something else, huh? Especially not even that far, 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? But like the scripture said, man, you know what I mean? You gotta stay away from those people that have power to kill you, man. It's a smart thing to do. And it's a smart thing for us to stay away from the oppressor and not be around him, because he has the power to kill you. Right? Keep reading.
Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city.
Right. Even though you in the truth, we still out here. You know? I don't know. Brothers be thinking sometimes, brother be, you know, it was his brother, he ain't in the school no more. This brother, you know, he thought because he was in the truth, you know, he was invincible. And he got beat the hell up and balled up in a ball. You know what I mean? He got beat up. He was drunk, talking junk to some cats on the street, on the brothers on the corner in Philly, somewhere. Right. And they washed him up. So you got to be careful, man. Just because you in the truth don't mean that you can't get an ass whipping. Right. So you got to watch your mouth. You know what I mean? And you got to move accordingly, like a man of God, and move with like a man that has seasoning. Right. You can't be drunk out here, you know, talking trash to the neighborhood drug dealers on the corner. Right. You know, you gotta be smart. You know what I mean? You don't always gotta be in the midst of everything. Right. Like the scripture said, because you walk amongst what? Could you read that one more time?
Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city.
Right. So remember, the snares is traps, man. Remember, when we in the truth, but we still navigating through the hood. We still navigating around danger. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be smart. And that's what the scriptures is telling you to do. Keep reading.
Verse 14. As near as thou canst, guess at thy neighbor.
Go ahead, keep reading.
And consult with the wise.
Meaning, before you do something stupid, like, you know, you want to get counsel. Meaning, you know, before you go out and say, man, I'm going to go out with all my white friends and we all going to get drunk. Then maybe you want to get some counsel first. Hey man, you know, they having this thing at my job, man, you know, and I was out in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Out in the woods, you know, maybe you should get some counsel before you make that decision. You know what I mean? Get counsel from men above you, you know, and figure out what's the right thing to do. If you ain't in the truth, you can still do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just pay some tithes. Damn. Do something. Give us a donation. You know, I don't want to sit on the damn phone talking to you, giving you information for an hour on the phone, and you don't give me nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? Hit the Cash App. We'd be good to go. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get counsel. You know what I'm saying? Should you go out, you know, on Halloween and go hanging out at some party where y'all going to hang out in the graveyard with all your Edomite friends? Then maybe you should get some counsel on that before you do it. Because we've heard all the stories, right? Of black people that go out in the woods, go out with their friends, and their, you know, oppressor friends get a little too drunk, and next thing you know, they're ready to hang you up on the damn tree. Right. You know what I mean? So many of our people have died like that. Too trusting. You know what I mean? Being around people that had the ability to kill them. Right. And because of that, they've lost their life. You know what I mean? Them cats who was around Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, maybe they should have gotten counsel, you know what I mean? And knew that, hey, you know, y'all see how strange Jeffrey Dahmer looks?
Right.
Who would want to be around somebody like that? Right. He's like, you want to come up and get something to eat? Like, what? It was even like, all right, yeah, come on. Like, you want something to drink? Like, yeah, I'll take something to drink. They be like, here you go. They be like, well, that tastes a little weird. Don't worry about it. Just keep drinking. You know what I mean? Right. They're like, okay, all right. It's like, come on. Then you're like, oh man, I feel a little tired. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, come on, man. We can't be stupid like that. That's what the scriptures is telling us, man. Look, don't be stupid. You know what I mean? How did he even get people up to it? I don't know. Maybe y'all somebody in the chat can tell me. How did he get people up to his house? Do you see how weird that cat is? Even in court, he was just like, like, that guy's weird, man. He's a weirdo. Did y'all see any of the show on Hulu?
I saw the whole series.
You saw the whole series?
Yeah.
He was like, remember he brought the sandwich over to the next door neighbor? He was like, I made you a sandwich. And she's like, I'm not eating that sandwich. He's like,
I ain't having it.
Why? It's good. It's ham. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. But yeah, you want to get counsel, man. You know what I'm saying? Right? You can go ahead and keep reading.
Sorry. Verse 15. Let thy walk be with the wise. In all thy communication in the law of the Most High.
Right. So you always want that, you know what I mean? Your walk to be with brothers in the truth. You don't want to fall off from that. Sisters, man, get you. If you want to get advice from a sister, get advice from a senior sister.
Right.
You know what I mean? A sister that's been in the truth for a while. You know, don't go and just try to run to get, you know, counsel from your homegirl that you like. The new sister that just came into school. She ain't even got her name yet. You trying to get counsel from her. You know what I mean? You know, go to a sister that's a senior sister that's been around for a while. You know what I mean? Go to that sister if you want to get counsel, because sometimes, you know, you get a lot of, you know, I get sisters sometimes who tell me that, you know, they want to get counsel from a sister, you know, not just a man, you know, and that's perfectly fine. But, you know, get the right kind of counsel. You know what I'm saying? Get a counsel from a sister who's been around, a senior sister. No, don't get counsel from a sister who is bitter. You know, a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna get bad counsel if you do that. All right, go ahead. You can keep reading.
Verse 16. And let just men eat and drink with thee, and let that glorying be in the fear of the Lord.
You see that? Like, we glory, but we glory in the fear of the Lord. Every time we talk, we like Most High in Christ. Oh, the water. Oh man, brother, you want something to drink? Go ahead and get down. You know what I mean? Man, look. And that's the men you want to be around. You don't want to be around brothers in the world. You know what I mean? You could go, you know, to the club and see that, you know, brothers in the world. You know what I'm saying? And brothers in the world don't have this kind of brotherhood. Right. You know, sisters in the world don't have this kind of sisterhood. You know, and this is the best place that you should be, right here in the school. You know what I'm saying? And what you want to do while you're here in the school is work towards building it up. Work towards putting your brick in so that we can move this thing forward. You know what I'm saying? And then that way, you know, when these things come down, the hard times that is going to come, then we'll be ready to it at some capacity. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to do. We have to always stay vigilant and understand the fight that we're fighting, and understand that the only way we're going to be able to fight this fight is by coming together with brotherhood and sisterhood. All right. I'm gonna read one more scripture. Let me get Isaiah 56 and 10.
Come on. Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant.
Now, whose watchmen? His watchmen, right? The oppressor's watchmen, man, they blind. A watchman is somebody that's supposed to warn you of the impending danger that's coming. And our leadership don't do that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. But they don't, you know, our watchmen are blind, right? Go ahead, keep reading.
His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs.
Right. And that's the leadership of black people. We're just, you know, our leadership is dumb. You know what a dog does? The dog barks and he warns you about the impending danger that's coming. And we don't have no leader that's doing that. At this point, we have no leadership on the mainstream with black people. But we do have leadership here in the ISUPK. You know what I mean? Commander John Yohana is the leader, right? And we have that righteous leadership. But on the main scale, you know, our leadership is Kanye West. You know, Kanye West because he has $1 billion. It's Jay-Z because he has $1 billion. It's Rihanna because she has $1 billion. It's, you know, rappers because they have millions of dollars. Go ahead.
Like you said, it's just now it's not even about the money. It's about who's famous and attention.
Right. So yeah, Glorilla is a black leader. Glorilla, yeah.
I proposed to her 2 years ago.
Yeah, Glorilla is a black leader. Ice Spice, all of them. They're all black leaders because just give it a couple more songs, and they'll be asking them what do they think about the conditions of black people.
I already see sisters reposting her, just her pictures, idolizing her. You know what I'm saying? Just because now she's famous. You know, but hey, like I said, let it be last year. You would have been talking about her like she's a dog. You know what I'm saying? But it's who your oppressor makes you look up to.
Right. Whoever he puts in. That's one thing too. That's a heavy point you brought out too, because we got to see who the oppressor puts up, and he puts up Martin Luther King, and so you need to watch that. You need to watch who the oppressor puts up for you to believe in, like a damn God. You know what I'm saying? Because that person is not for you or work for you or want to have your best interest at heart. Go ahead. Your scripture. No, you had wanted to bring something. Go ahead. You wanted to make a point.
To bring the scripture out because it's so heavy and it's a precept to what you were saying, and this is the reason why our leaders are weak. And remember, I was looking for this in the chat, and I said I knew it was the scripture that was talking about this. This is the book of Micah, chapter 3, verse 11. The heads thereof judge for a reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire.
Yeah.
And the prophets thereof divine for money.
Go ahead, break it down.
Salaki. But basically, like, this is just saying, like, we do everything for money. You know, we will cross our own people. It goes with covetousness. You know, like how we talked about selling the soul earlier. And Maccabees, we desire to follow the way of the heathen. Like, we teach for hire. TD Jakes. I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning, he got a corner on his show now. Coca-Cola sponsors him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. He teaches for hire. So he's not going to come to your church and give you no blessing unless you got 50,000.
Right.
You know.
Go
ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead.
And it says they divine for money, yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil could come upon us.
Break it down.
Like, and that's just explaining how, like, they go into, it's a scripture in the scriptures that talk about vain philosophies. You know what I mean? And that's what they give us. It's plenty of times before he give a quote unquote revelation, hey, you got to text this number with some money. And then he gives a revelation. You know what I'm saying? The whole time he got a microphone on. I know they saying how much money that's coming in. You know, before he gives his revelation. Then they got the music playing. They are what it says they will lean upon the Lord, saying that the Lord then gave me this. They leaning upon the Lord and say that no evil could come upon us. So if you let go all the baggage that's holding you back, that's how they talk. You know, if you let go of the baggage that's holding you back, the Lord, can't nobody stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they give vain philosophies.
And we think that the Lord is with them because of how they look.
You know,
those suits that he have on is not cheap. You know, that TD Jakes be wearing and Creflo be wearing, it might look like it's regular, but those is like Armani suits.
Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci suits, man. Them joints is 2 stacks. You know what I mean? A piece. Like, he ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? This cat, you know, hopping into, you know, Phantoms.
Right.
You know what I mean? These cats they're the top hustlers of their field. You know what I'm saying? So these cats is real deal. You know what I mean? Like Creflo, you know, pull that thing out on you.
Right. Right. No.
You know what I'm saying? Like real deal. That kind of pull that thing out on you. You think, what? He ain't get to that level by being, you know, nice. He got to that level by being a shrewd.
Right. No. Honestly.
He got that way. He got to that level by being a shrewd businessman. And them cats is on another. They're pimping, but they're like the top pimps. You know what I'm saying? Because they pimping the Lord's children. They're pimping the Lord's people through religion.
Right.
And that there is, you know, they're going to get the greater damnation.
Right.
In the end, because of what they're doing.
Right.
They have no shame. You know what I'm saying? Like a person who's a drug dealer, he has a little saying. You know, you talk to a drug dealer, he's like, man, I don't want to be selling drugs my whole life, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the means to an end. I got to put some food on the table. But then it's like, and a drug dealer, he'll leave the Lord's people alone. He'll leave church alone. Like, you know, if I'm in the world, I'm selling drugs. That's what it is. I'm just not gonna do this church thing. But it's another type of evil that could take the Lord's people, take old ladies,
right,
that's trying to learn and get the kingdom of heaven before they die.
Right.
It's another thing to take them and then do them dirty. That's a whole different level of evil. Go ahead.
Not only are they doing them dirty, but they're doing the generations that follow them dirty.
Right, exactly.
A lot of men follow Christianity because of their grandmoms. Their grandmom took care of them their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like that's when that drug dealer finally decides to come into church. You know what, my grandmom, I'm finally gonna follow the way that my grandmom was telling me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like an emotional connection to it. You know what I'm saying? My grandma died. She was a devout Christian. This is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? And then the pastor is robbing them blind.
And this is why, you know what I'm saying, it's important we have brotherhood and sisterhood, man. I keep bringing it back to that. Why? Because this is the night's class.
Right.
It's brotherhood and sisterhood class. I keep bringing it back to that because it's very important that we get back to it. We don't fail when it comes to it, because I'm telling you what's going on right now, man. You know, everything is going upside down. You got Russia talking crazy. You know what I mean? You got Joe Biden going crazy. You got black people talking about reparations. You know where our reparations went? To fight the war.
Right. That's
where our reparations at. Stop asking for it. We look, Ukraine. They declared victory over Russia, you know, and that's because that's our money. Or your reparations went to fight the war effort, right? Give yourselves a hand. We helped, you know, the Ukrainians get free. All right. So yeah, let's stop counting on Joe Biden. All right, let's count on each other. Count on this brotherhood. Count on the ISUPK, man. Make sure y'all pay y'all tithes. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Y'all already know what to do, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Keep coming back to class. Don't fail. Don't stop. Keep it up. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be back next Tuesday, you know what I'm saying, with another topic. And just make sure that y'all tune in. Make sure y'all stay down. If you need counsel, get it. You know what I'm saying? Get around your brothers, man. Sisters, get around your sisters. And let's do this thing, man. Let's take this thing all the way to the kingdom. With that being said, I'm going to turn the class over to precinct officer.
What's his name?
Sorry, I was around the car. I was messing with you, man. All right.
Good night. You can never do that again.
You good?
All right. Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Here's the ISUPK security announcements. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Ma'asharah means 10th in Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund is a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations.
I believe it's the Feast of Dedication.
Hanukkah?
Yeah, I think it's December.
But
we just had Tabernacles. No, the next one would be Sunday. I think that the closing, the closing of the feast.
We have the closing of the Feast of
Tabernacles. Yeah.
And then forthcoming is the Feast of Hanukkah.
Right. We actually still in a high holy day now. We're in a week.
We're still currently in the Feast of Hanukkah.
No.
I'm at Salakia, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Yeah.
Salakia. And with that being said, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start to wear all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. That being said, men of Israel, Majum, we're going to give a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatam, Yahshua Sar, we're going to turn our face to sisters. We're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatham by Shem Yahushua. Yashamatah. Class dismissed.